What is going on today, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today's a day I've been waiting for a really long time. Really ever since I got the car. Even before I got the car, I had already had this whole day planned out, and just what all we were gonna do. And if you can't tell already, we will be putting this exhaust on the car. So I ended up going with Nameless Performance exhaust. They're based out of Washington. I ended up going with them just because some of these other brands of exhaust that are real popular on these cars, they have like a weird tone or a weird ring to them, and I didn't like it. But Nameless, every video that I watched of cars with their exhaust on, well, Subarus, I ended up loving the sound of it. It had a deep throaty tone to it. It had that Subaru growl. It didn't really have any like weird rings or pitches to it, so that is why I ended up going with the Nameless Performance exhaust. Now, I did go ahead and order the catback exhaust, but as of right now, they are not able to get material. I know with all this dumb stuff going on, it's been an issue for everybody, and being up in Washington, I really don't know how it is. It could be worse, but as of right now, they're looking to have the rest of the exhaust, which is the axle back part of the exhaust, done. I believe they said October 15th is when they think it will be done. But I think that's when they said it'd be done. It's either that or that's when I'll have it by. But it wouldn't be any earlier. I want to say they said done, but I can't remember for sure. Now, the way that you guys see this exhaust right now is not the way that I got it. I spent a lot of time last night wet sanding it. I did a 400, a 600, and then a 1500. Something for you guys to know if you do end up doing that. It's stupid. You're never going to see the exhaust. It's underneath the car, I know, but I'm weird. So if you do decide to do that with yours, make sure you go with like the lines of the exhaust, because if you just go side to side with it and fight it, you'll sit there and you'll wet sand and wet sand and wet sand. I think I had 2 hours in wet sanding before I ended up looking up like, all right, is there a certain way you're supposed to do this? And you are supposed to go with the lines. So if you do decide to do that, make sure you do go with the lines. And literally as soon as I started going with the lines, it made a difference like that. So also we are in my house garage right now, because I have the dually that I bought on like the concrete pad of my shop, and the shop's just a disaster. It's just, there's parts and stuff that I'm going to be using everywhere, so there's no room in there. My buddy Bailey, where I had originally planned on doing it even after I realized that I couldn't do it there, he is racing in Michigan this weekend, so I can't do it there. And I wasn't able to get my hands on a lift for the weekend, or well, for this. So I'm trying to decide if I want to do it in the garage or like on the concrete pad next to my house. I'm kind of thinking next to the house because in here there's no room, really. But then at the same time, I'm like working outside. I mean, I'm working outside anyway, but I don't know. But something else that's really cool about the exhaust too that I noticed. Now, I don't know if other companies are like this as well, but they have V-band clamp styles for like where it connects to the other pieces of the exhaust. I thought that was super cool. I'd be curious to see how it works. Just because most exhausts have, you know, gaskets in between where they connect and flanges and bolts that go through that way. So I think in a way, this will almost look cleaner under, again, not that you're ever going to see it, but it'll look kind of cleaner and cooler. So I'm super excited to get this exhaust put on and hear how it sounds. It is quite a bit bigger. Once I get the old exhaust off, I will go ahead and lay them next to each other and show you guys a size comparison. I do believe this is a 3-inch exhaust. I can double check on that for you. I'll go ahead and put it right here on the screen and let you guys know. I think that is everything as of right now. I'll be getting ready to pull. I know I've been saying this probably past week or two, I am going to be getting ready to pull the motor out of the Cummins, so we can get moving on all of that. I think that's it though. Alright, so yeah, so that's it as far as I can think of right now. I'm going to go ahead and decide on where I want to do this real quick, and I'll catch up with you guys after that. Something else I will probably go over too real quick is everything that came with this. It does show on their website what all it comes with. I just obviously didn't pay any attention to it. So here we have our pipes and our hardware. We got these V-band clamps here. This is what I didn't pay attention to, is this gasket. It goes in between the down pipe and the pipe here that meets up to the down pipe. It's a big gasket that goes on there. I ended up going to a Subaru dealer myself and buying one. I probably will just hold on to it though. Actually, no, I won't. I probably will return it, because hopefully I'll never have to mess with the exhaust ever again. So that is everything there. You have the gaskets, where the part that goes to the axle back here, these are for that. However, today we will not be using those though, because we don't have the axle back, and I'm not going to waste two good gaskets. So I'm just going to pull apart what's on there now, and then reuse those gaskets if there are any there, and then just use those until I get the rest of the axle back. So that should be it. We're going to go ahead and get to taking apart the exhaust, taking the old exhaust off, and getting the new one on. Alright guys, so we got the old exhaust off. Everything I believe was a 14 mil. It was a 14. Everything was a 14 millimeter to get it off. For the new exhaust, there is an extra size that we have to use. But everything for the factory is 14. So the new one will be, it'll be 14 and 13 we'll be using. So got the old one off. Everything came off as should. With it being so new. It's so nice working on new stuff, because everything just like comes apart the way that it's supposed to. Something else that I am going to do, you do not have to do, and really you don't have to, well, for the V-band clamps, they have the lock washer in it, so it won't go anywhere. I'll probably still use red Loctite, just because I've had issues in the past. Stuff just manages to come loose, and I always tighten stuff down. It just stuff just so happens to come loose on me sometimes. Little dumb stuff, nothing big, just little nuts for exhaust, stuff like that. No idea why, but it does. That sounds really bad. But anyway, these normal nuts, they do not have the lock washer stuff in them. We'll only be using some of them today though, because I don't want to use the new bolts on the exhaust yet until we get the axle back portion. Then I'll put these new ones on. But for now, we're just going to run with the old bolts that I just pulled off. They're a little rusty, but they're definitely still very usable. There's nothing wrong with them. So I think that's it. Let's go ahead and get to putting this back together. So we got the exhaust all wrapped up here. I wasn't able to film a whole lot of it as far as like me putting it on the car. It was definitely a lot of two hands and even some extra hands just to try to get everything on and lined up. Especially with the V-band style, it's cool if you can get it to line up. Sometimes it can be a bit of a pain to get everything to line up the way that it's supposed to. So that took a little bit of me playing around with, but I was able to get it. There's now 0 leaks or anything like that. I like the sound of it. It definitely has a Subi rumble, but as of right now, with me having the new 3-inch exhaust to the rigged up 2 3/4 inch rear, when I was trying to see what if I wanted to run mufflers or not. So it sounds kind of goofy. Like, it still has a rumble, but it's definitely not the sound I'm looking for. But at the same time, I still don't have the actual back portion of the exhaust yet, and there's no tips at all. So all that's going to come into play and help a lot for sure. So I'm definitely excited to get the rest of the exhaust system. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up the video here and put a sound clip of the exhaust at the end of the video here. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for all your support and everything. If you haven't already, definitely make sure you get down there and hit that subscribe button, and also give it a like if you liked it. Give me a comment if there's anything that you guys think that I could be doing better, that make these a little bit more interesting, or anything like that at all. Give me a comment down below and let me know. Catch you guys next time.